And this is what I look like at 6:30 in the morning. So nice little inside look here. But yeah, shoulder surgery today to repair my labrum and whatever else they find in there. Been battling this injury for a while, and it's time to get this thing fixed and start focusing on next year. You guys know, if you were watching the videos or watching the live broadcast, you would have seen I did not race the last 3 rounds. And that's just due to my shoulder. I thought I could tough it out through the pain, but once we got the MRI back, we kind of saw that things were looking quite a bit worse than what we anticipated. The season was already not going very well in general, so we just decided it was better to get it fixed, which is a pretty huge bummer. But honestly, I've been pretty fortunate in my career to have, I would say, not as many injuries as most people. The ones I have had have been really serious, like ACL tears and things like that, but overall the number has been pretty low. So I'm fortunate in that regard, but definitely does suck to end the season with an injury and not get to race a couple of my favorite rounds, but so be it. Such is life. This season, or honestly this entire year, has been a super tough one for me. Coming off the back of last year, which was my best year as a pro, and just in general, things went really well last year. To then, in contrast, have a year like this one where it's just been plagued with injuries, bike troubles, just a bunch of things going wrong. It's, not gonna lie, pretty tough one to handle. Obviously the shoulder injury has been a bummer, but there's been a lot of other stuff that's happened this year that hasn't been so great that I maybe necessarily haven't talked about in videos or posted on Instagram or anything like that. But right from the get-go this year has been very, very tough. Preseason training did not go at all as planned. Of course, we switched from the old chassis to the new chassis, and that took a long time for us to find a setting that I could even be somewhat comfortable on. We probably went through like 10 to 15 different suspension settings. Most of my time at the track should have been spent putting in motos, focusing on technique and everything, but the majority of February, March, and April, I would just do a 5-minute session, take my forks off, put a different set of forks on, do another 10-minute session, take my shock off, put a different shock on, do 10 minutes, change a rear spring, do another 10 minutes. Just never got in the flow of really grinding out motos. My body physically was not ready to do pro national 30-minute motos. And even though we got the bike better, I still had lost a lot of that confidence on it. And it definitely showed at the first couple of rounds. I was pretty far off of where I wanted to be. I mean, I guess I shouldn't really say that. I did score points at Hangtown round 2, but I just didn't feel as competitive as I wanted to be. But at that time, it's almost too late, you know? During the season, it's very hard to do testing and do long days at the practice track because the first 4 rounds were back to back to back. I was living out of my van in California. There's really not a whole lot you can do during the week between rounds. I mean, physical exhaustion alone is insane after a pro national. So the whole first 4 rounds, it was not very good for me physically or mentally. And then of course, decided to make a big change, switching over to Tim Bennett and TCD Racing suspension. And right away, that was a super positive thing for me this season. Immediately gained back so much more confidence in the bike and in myself. And that showed at Redbud. Right off the bat in the first qualifying practice, I qualified like 14th, went on to qualify 18th overall. And then in Moto 1, the disaster struck with the shoulder. So it was like right as things were picking up, I got punched in the face basically and knocked back down to my lowest rung again. That time, didn't really know things were torn, so still went to Southwick, qualified like 21st or 22nd there, survived the motos. Millville was pretty similar, qualified 20th and just tried to survive. Finally got the MRI after Millville. It showed that my shoulder was absolutely torn up. So having that in the back of my mind, Unadilla was awful. Was riding with absolutely zero confidence, messed the shoulder up again. Just decided that the last 2 rounds were not worth it, essentially. And now, here we are. Tough one to swallow. I thought this year was going to be like my year, and I got humbled very, very quickly. So it's kind of funny though, man, like sometimes you need a little bit of a humbling in order to remember how hard you need to work. And first day or 2 after finding out I was gonna need surgery, I was pretty down in the dumps and kind of thinking like, well, that was the last pro national I'll probably ever race, you know? But as the days go on, I'm getting more and more ticked off and more motivated to get back on the path of healing and come back next year and show that I'm not done yet. Essentially, I just don't want to end my career on a low point like that, you know? I want to go out on a season that I'm completely content with and feeling like I've accomplished all that I can accomplish, and I still don't feel like I'm anywhere near that you know, I truly still believe that I can be like a top 15 point scorer every weekend, and I'm not gonna stop until I get there. So surgery scheduled for 2 p.m. today. It is like 7:30 right now. So got a couple things to take care of before we hit the road. One thing that this break is going to allow me to do is focus on some things that I've been neglecting as I've been focusing on the racing side of things. Obviously, it's no secret that content has been a little bit on the back burner as I pursue what I want to pursue in racing. The training, the bike maintenance, the travel, everything is just so insane for pro motocross, and I'm just a one-man show. So keeping up on both and putting 100% effort into both at the same time is not really possible. So this injury is going to allow me to put like 100% back into content for a couple months, and I'm actually really excited about it. I plan on setting up a studio in the race shop with some nice lighting and cameras, and do some more like tech talk videos, how-to videos. But I also plan on just doing some more vlog style stuff while I'm recovering, you know, take you guys along on the process while I recover. Maybe it'll help some of you out on your path of recovery. But there's also been a lot of stuff that Bridge and I have been doing around here that I haven't shown you guys yet. I haven't really given you a tour of the race shop, so we'll probably take a little lap around that and show you some other stuff on the property. Bridge wanted chickens, so I built her a coop. So I'll go ahead and finish my coffee off, and then I'll show you guys around the place, and we'll get geared up for surgery. Not quite ideal, but sometimes you need a good kick in the butt. That's exactly what this is. Go ahead and throw a hat on though, so you guys don't have to stare at my ugly hair. Definitely need to get a haircut today before surgery, because I don't want to be living for the next couple weeks with that mop on my head. Come on, buddy. Buddy, wait. Come on, let's see your chicken. Let's see your boy. Come on, bud. Unfortunately, our rooster is sick. So we've got him in the race shop. He's kind of living luxuriously in here in his own apartment basically, but this is Ronaldo, our rooster. He's a little sick right now, so yeah, he's got the place all to himself. What's up, buddy? He's not too stoked about it. But for whatever reason, Sprocket absolutely loves these chickens, so what do you think, buddy? How's Ronaldo doing? He'll be all right. But yeah, I specifically made sure not to clean up the race shop and make it look all perfect, because honestly, that's another thing that makes me stop the vlogs so much, is that I get stressed out about how the barn looks. So you're seeing the barn as it looks pretty much all the time. It's actually pretty clean, I'm not gonna lie, but it's also not spotless. So take you guys for a little tour. This is like the junk corner over here. That is the next project, kind of cleaning up from the edge of the gym forward to the garage door. That's just like the lawnmower and random crap that's laying around. We've got the gym set up, got the foldable squat rack. You can pull those pins and then both the arms fold flat against the wall. Not doing any crazy weights, because obviously you don't really need that for motocross, but works out really well. Got some more gym equipment there on the shelf. Jersey hanging up, pull-up bar, nice bench. Articulating TV, we definitely need to get a bigger one of those boys. It is not quite sufficient. This is gonna be my happy place for the next couple of weeks. I think spinning on the stationary bike is gonna be one of the few things that I can actually do with my arm in a sling. So I think probably like a week or two after surgery, I'll be able to start spinning. So that's gonna be huge. I've already got it all set up, so I don't have to mess around with that after surgery. I'll just be able to hop on and start spinning and you know, keeping things somewhat fresh. Practice bike sort of being taken apart to get ready to be sold right now. The race bike is still dirty in the van. Not even gonna lie about it. You guys probably saw my new signature kit over here hanging in the race shop. So we collaborated with the boys over at Active to come up with this design. It's actually available right now. I'll put the links up so you guys will be able to go and purchase this. And that really helps out my program when you guys do that. So not only is it a pretty sick kit, but you'll be helping me out as well. I took a bunch of my race plastic from last year and signed all of it. And we're gonna be giving away random pieces of signed plastic with orders of the gear. I also have some new merch. So that'll all be over on the Active website. You guys can go check that out. I really appreciate it, because we got some gnarly medical bills coming up and we need some funding for that. So that's pretty much the race shop. You guys will be seeing a lot of this place over the next couple of months. Now we will show you guys the chicken coop that we built. Bridget just got her little garden boxes, and bam. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty stoked on how this thing turned out. I had some leftover metal from doing the ceiling in the barns. Bridget's got her little gardening on fleek. Got some nesting boxes here. Chickens are still young, so we're not gonna see eggs for a little while, but eventually we'll be able to just pop this open, grab some eggs, we'll be dialed. It sounds like the girls are underneath actually right now. What's up, ladies? What do we think, bud? Dialed. There's the front of it. Super nice though, actually. I'm pretty stoked with how it turned out. We built this thing completely from scratch, so never really done anything like this other than the barn, obviously. 2 layers of plywood and then insulation all around there. Insulated ceiling. It obviously gets pretty cold in Michigan, so they'll be dialed all winter. And then the little outdoor chicken run. We got the automatic door over there that raises when the sun comes up and lowers when the sun goes down. So then here's our flock. We got 7 of them. They started out being Bridget's chickens, but actually I'm growing pretty fond of them. This is my girl here, Marilyn. She's my lady. But the whole flock's pretty cool. How we doing, Betty? So yeah, that's what we've been up to, man. I'm a freaking farmer now. But it's cool, it's definitely a vibe out here right now. The farmer planted corn, of course, so we kind of have a little bit of seclusion from everyone else. Not that we even have any neighbors, but we're even a little bit more secluded, so it's kind of cool right now. But yeah, a little insight into what life is like here at the Walker Motorsports compound. Big Red looking good as ever. But yeah, now basically just time to get ready to head in for surgery. So gonna get showered up, probably go and grab a haircut, get some things together. I'm gonna be staying at my parents' for the first night. It's because Bridget does work at a bakery, so she has gone super early every morning. I don't really know how out of it I'm gonna be for the first night, so gonna be staying over at my parents'. So I gotta get some things together, and then I'll probably get one last workout in the race shop, just because I know it's gonna be a little bit before I can do any physical activity. So gonna get that stuff out of the way. We're gonna head in. I'm gonna try and film as much as I can in the hospital, and you guys will get to see me a little bit loopy post-op. So it should be a good time. Fresh cut, fresh cleanup around the neck. We're looking dialed for our surgery date. You guys can probably hear the squeaky belt in the van. But yeah, heading to my parents now. I gotta have someone drive me there, stay with me for the whole hour-and-a-half surgery and then drive me home. So blessed to have the parents that I do. But yeah, I'm honestly a little bit nervous. It's been a long time since I got a surgery where they actually repaired something serious. Had my ACLs when I was like 8 and 9, and then since then all I've had is a little meniscus cleanup and some hardware removal from those first surgeries. So those ones were pretty fine, honestly. But I do remember when I was little, the ACL repairs were absolutely brutal, man. I mean, that was 20 years ago, so I know surgery has gotten a lot better since then. Like, I know people who have gone in for complete hip replacements and they literally walked out of there. So I'm not really sure what to expect. Some people have said that a shoulder surgery is like the most painful thing they've ever done. Some people said they didn't even take pain meds afterwards. So I guess a lot of it will depend on what they find when they open me up. Fingers crossed that we're chilling, but honestly, I'm just so excited to get the healing process on the way and never have to worry about this thing sliding around on me again while I'm riding. What entrance do you go in? Left. You gonna be my vlogger while I'm in there? Y'all are getting old. Wrong. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies, there were many big signs in the operating room that said no cameras, so we didn't really feel the need to bust out the vlog rig while we were in there and make anyone too upset. I'm sure Dr. Frogamini would have been cool with it. I have a very long, like 20-year relationship with him. So yeah, the operation was good. He was pretty happy with how it went. When they got in there, they found a little bit more than they were expecting. It was like just barely over half of the labrum had pulled away from my bone. Both bone surfaces look good. We got 2 big metal anchors in there, which anchor the labrum to the bone, and then it was also pretty loose, so he put some like folds. I can't really do it with this hand because I have that nerve blocker in there, so it's kind of have some limited movement with my hand and everything. So anesthesia is probably still wearing off as well, so a little bit spacey, but he basically like put pleats in it just to kind of tighten things up. Obviously with moto, you don't need a huge range of motion with your shoulders. And being that it's my left arm, it's not my throttle hand or anything. It's not my dominant throwing hand. So I think we erred on the side of making it a little bit tighter and a little bit more foolproof for the future, which I'm totally cool with. When you dislocate your shoulder, the head of your humerus can kind of bang up on like the sharp edge of your shoulder socket. So there was evidence of that. There's like a little crease. He basically said it's like a dent or a crease in a ping pong ball. He did find that on my humerus, so it definitely has been like dislocating and banging around. So it definitely was a good move to get this fixed up and just hopefully not have to worry about it in the future. But he was pretty optimistic about recovery time. Should be 3 months, maybe a little bit under. He's a really cool ortho. He always knows that I want to get it back on the bike as soon as possible, so he doesn't give me any hassle about racing dirt bikes or anything like that. He gives me like a super realistic timeline and honestly kind of puts things on the fast track for me quite a bit. So essentially no pain with this nerve blocker. It is starting to wear off now. Like I couldn't move my fingers at all before. I'm starting to be able to move them and feeling some tingling on my arm. So I'm sure the pain will be setting in here pretty soon, but yeah, man, I'm just excited to get the recovery path underway here. It's been a long time with shoulder pain. Never really talked too much about it up until this year, and then Redbud really did a number on me. So definitely excited to get that thing fixed. And it's like I'm having some sympathy pains in my right shoulder now. I wouldn't be surprised if my right shoulder is torn up a little bit too. So probably not my last operation, but you know, when you race motocross, you just got to expect this. So I don't think it'll be too long before I have some pretty good use out of that shoulder. 2 weeks time, I've got to go back and he'll do some mobility with me. Since he did make it a little bit tighter, he wants to make sure that I still have decent range of motion. He said if I can't reach the specs that he wants me to, I'll start physical therapy immediately to start getting some of that range of motion back. If he's happy with the range of motion, I'll be right back in the sling for another 2 weeks, and I'll start physical therapy then. So we'll get the dressing off in 2 days, and then depending on pain, should be able to start doing quite a bit here pretty soon. So like I said, I want to get a little studio set up in the barn. Definitely going to just grind out content for the next 3 months. We got these medical bills to pay for, so we're going to be cranking out videos. The 2-stroke that finally, after 2 years of sitting in the barn, we're finally going to jump on and get that thing underway. Have a lot of good parts for that thing and a lot of good ideas. So that's most likely going to become like an off-road rig for me. My first couple rides back on the bike will probably be some pretty chill stuff. I'd like to do some trail riding and stuff like that just to get the shoulder back in the swing of it. So that would be a cool one to put like an oversized tank on and go out to Colorado or something and do some cool trail riding. So that's on the menu. You guys probably also saw earlier in this video, we have that little CRF 150. I just bought it off my buddy. That thing is absolutely clapped, and we'll be kind of doing some fun stuff with that as well. So, you know, we'll be back on the grind in no time. So hope you guys enjoyed this more casual vlog of the surgery day. I'll be checking in here pretty soon with some more content. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think, and we'll be back on the bike in no time. Stronger, better than ever, and we'll be ripping next year. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.